Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Friday, September 15th. We got a big slate on this Friday, a 14-game slate, so we got a lot to go over, so I'm not going to waste any time. Let's go ahead and get looking at this slate. Alright, so starting off, looking at pitcher today, we only have 3 studs on a 14-game slate, which is definitely something you usually don't see. You usually have more than just 3 guys over 10K on a big slate like this, but only 3 studs: Chris Sale, Robbie Ray, and Luis Severino. I do like all 3 of these guys. I like all 3 of their matchups, but we can only put in 1 in this 5 if I do want to pay up for pitcher today, which I definitely do. And Chris Sale is a guy that I'm definitely going to be paying up for at 13,100, going up against the Rays. Sale, he has just dominated this team all year. He's definitely seen them a lot this year. Sale's pitched 5 games against the Rays. Through those 5 games, the guy's averaged 35 DraftKings points. He's got 57 strikeouts in 5 games, so he's averaging over 11 strikeouts per game against the Rays. So he's had a lot of success against this team, and it's definitely understandable. This Rays team, they're not very good against lefties, and they lead the league in strikeout rate versus lefties in the last 30 days. In the last 30 days versus lefties, the Rays are striking out 25.4% of the time, and they're only hitting a 239 average versus lefties and a 298 WOBA, and both of those numbers are bottom in the league. So this team doesn't hit lefties well. They strike out a lot, so obviously a really good spot for Chris Sale. I think Sale's the #1 option today. There are definitely good options under him like Ray and Severino, but if you're just playing cash games and you want the guy that's probably likely to score the most points, it's definitely Chris Sale. He probably has the most upside as well out of those 3 guys. Sale could definitely post a 40-point outing here. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So obviously, I love him today at 13,100. I think that definitely is a reasonable price tag. He can definitely pay that off in this matchup. So I'm going to be rolling with Chris Sale as my SP1 for 13,100. And then for SP2, for it to be a 14-game slate, not a lot of SP2 options I'm really liking that I'm really feeling confident in. There are definitely a couple guys that are in decent matchups, but some of the guys I don't really like their price tag, and then some of the matchups aren't really good strikeout matchups. But there is one guy I like that's towards the cheaper end, under 7K, that I definitely think can return value and pay off his price tag for us. That's Shaun Newcomb at 6,700, going up against the Mets. Now, I'm not absolutely in love with Shaun Newcomb today, but I definitely think he's a really good option that we can pair with our expensive pitcher. He is just 6,700, and going with him does leave us some decent salary to where we can fit in some expensive bats. There are definitely expensive bats you want today. We do have a gas can going in Coors Field. Bartolo Colon's on this slate. Anibal Sanchez is on this slate. So there are some expensive bats you want to get against those pretty bad pitchers. And going with Newcomb as our SP2 does allow us to do that since he is just 6,700. And I think he can return value for us. This Mets team versus lefties, in the last 30 days, they have been striking out at a decent rate, striking out 21.9% of the time, which is tied for 11th most in the last 30 days. So there are definitely some strikeouts in this lineup. And if you look through this lineup, some guys towards the top won't really strike out a lot. Guys like Reyes, Cabrera, Aoki, these guys don't really K much, but they're not really good hitters either. But when you do get towards the bottom of the lineup, definitely some strikeouts in the bottom of the lineup. And every single one of those hitters in that Mets lineup, not very good hitters, don't have a lot of power, not very imposing. So I think Newcomb can definitely pitch well here. He is just 6,700, so we aren't going to need much from him to return value on his salary. I definitely think he can get us 15 to 20 DK points, and if he does do that for 6,700, that is hitting value. And if Chris Sale comes through for us, gets us 30 to 40, which I definitely think he can, then we definitely got some good outings from our pitchers. So I like rolling with Newcomb as an SP2 option today at 6,700 that we can pair with Chris Sale. And when we do go with Sale and Newcomb as our 2 pitchers, that still leaves us $37.75 remaining per player, which I think you can definitely work around today. Like I said, there are expensive bats you want, but there are definitely some value bats as well on this slate. A lot of guys that I feel like are underpriced for their matchup, so I think you can definitely pay up for pitcher today if you choose to do so. But looking for 3 bats to pair with our 2 pitchers, the first guy I like is at third base. I'm not going out on a limb here. I've said this multiple times, but anytime we get Nolan Arenado at home versus a lefty, you definitely just got to plug him into your lineup, and he's in that spot here today at home versus a lefty and Clayton Richard. Arenado is 5,400, definitely expensive, but there is a lot of value on this slate that I like that you can pair with some of these expensive bats. So love Nolan Arenado today, probably my favorite overall hitter on this slate, third base for 5,400. It is a really good matchup for Arenado. This guy has absolutely crushed left-handed pitching this year, and especially at home, the guy's just crushed lefties. I believe he has over a 500 WOBA at home versus lefties, which is just insane. So it is definitely a good spot for Arenado, definitely a good spot for these Rockies bats. Clayton Richard, I believe he's pitched in Coors Field already once this year, and I think he put up like negative 15 DraftKings points. I believe he gave up like 10 runs. Just got absolutely rocked the last time he pitched in Coors Field, and I don't think anything's going to change here. Obviously, I love these Rockies bats. I definitely think you want to target the righties. Richard has been pretty bad against righties this year. So far versus righties, he's allowed 372 WOBA, and he will definitely give up some home runs to righties as well. 1.47 home run per 9 on the year to right-handed hitters, and also a lot of hard contact, 47% medium contact and 36% hard contact to right-handed hitters on the year. So absolutely love this spot for Nolan Arenado. He has some BVP going for him as well. A decent sample size, 12 at-bats. In those 12 at-bats, Arenado has 7 hits. 3 of those hits were extra base hits, and one of the hits was a home run. He's batting .583, or he has a .583 average in 12 at-bats against Clayton Richard. So Arenado's hit him well in the past. I don't think anything's going to change here. Love Arenado. My favorite play on this slate, my favorite third baseman on this slate. So I'm going to be locking him in at 5,400. And then my next play is going to be at shortstop. A very cheap play I like that I think you can definitely look to if you need some value. That's Freddy Galvis at just 2,900, going up against Daniel Megden. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Daniel Megden. This guy, Megden, this Oakland pitcher, not very good, especially to lefties. He hasn't pitched much this year, so I pulled up his career numbers. And over his career, to lefties, he has allowed a 369 WOBA, and he has also given up some hard contact to lefties on in his career. 50% medium contact and 30% hard contact. So it is a really good spot for these Phillies bats. They do have a 5-run total, which was very surprising. We rarely see the Phillies get a run total close to 5 runs. Right now it is at 5 runs. So I think the Phillies are in a really good spot here. And I definitely think they are a key if you want to pay up for pitching. They have so many value bats in their lineup. Pretty much besides Rhys Hoskins, every single hitter in this lineup is under 4K. And I think they are in a really good spot against this Oakland pitcher. I don't think this Oakland pitcher is very good. So absolutely love Freddy Galvis here, just 2,900. I just think he's too cheap. He's been hitting the ball well lately. I believe he just homered right before I started recording this video. So I think he's in a really good spot here, and just 2,900. Love that price tag. Really nice ballpark as well, playing in Philly. That is a hitter-friendly park. So I think Freddy Galvis, a really good shortstop option. If you are looking to go cheap at shortstop, you should definitely be considering him today at 2,900. And then my final play is going to be in the outfield. Another very cheap value play I like is Jesse Winker at just 3,300, going up against Chad Kuhl. Now Jesse Winker and these Reds bats are another team I am going to be looking to target today. This is a pretty good matchup for them going up against Chad Kuhl. You definitely want to target the lefties versus Kuhl. Lefties have been hitting Kuhl well this year. He has struggled to lefties. On the year, left-handed hitters, Kuhl, he's allowed a 355 WOBA. And he's also given up a lot of hard contact to lefties. 48% medium contact and 37% hard contact. So I do like this spot for some of these Reds bats. I love the fact that they're playing in Cincinnati today, which is a very hitter-friendly park. If this game was being played in Pittsburgh, I probably wouldn't have a lot of interest. But since it's playing in Cincinnati in the Great American Ballpark, that is definitely a great hitter's park. So I do like Jesse Winker here at just 3,300. He is projected in the starting lineup. He is actually projected to bat leadoff. So anytime I get a guy against a pitcher that struggles against lefties and is only 3,300 and bats leadoff, definitely like that for value. So I think if you are looking for a cheap value play today, you should definitely consider Jesse Winker in the outfield for just 3,300. And yeah, guys, so these are my 5 plays for tonight. I went with Chris Sale, Shaun Newcomb, Nolan Arenado, Freddy Galvis, and Jesse Winker. When we put these guys in our core, that still leaves us 3,720 remaining per player to work around, which you definitely should be able to work around. Like I said, I really like some of these Phillies bats, and all of them are pretty cheap except Hoskins. So you can definitely plug in some Philly bats around this core if you want to. You can build a lineup built around this 5. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video, and make sure you subscribe as well. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I do have a Twitter account. I will leave a link down in my Twitter. My Twitter is @thedfs_goat. So be sure you're following me on Twitter. If you aren't already, I will leave a link to it down in the description. But like I said, make sure you like the video. Be sure to subscribe as well. I do upload these videos daily, so I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And make sure you cut on notifications as well. To do that, just go down to where the subscribe button is, and you will see a little bell icon. If you click that bell, that will notify you every time I upload. So be sure to do that as well if you never want to miss out on any new videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Oh, sauce it down, sauce it up. You too much, you too much. Ain't enough, ain't enough. Where you from? Throw it out. Go